The Match Ball.
Hello there. Welcome to the show. Brought to you in association with Levi Solicitors. levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball for a 10% discount on your legal fees. Do some thingy, Michael?
Someone shouted it really, really loudly in the tunnel today, as if starting a chant.
Right.
Wills Probate and Conveyance. I'm trying to remember the tune. But it was good. It was good. And so are the Wills Probate and Conveyancing services offered by Levi Solicitors.
Thank you very much.
So use them for that.
Was he chanted in court?
I believe so.
Is that part of the service?
Yeah, although conveyancing doesn't normally go to court.
It does if you shout about it loud enough.
Yeah, well, maybe so. Maybe so.
2-1.
It was all right in the end. It was all right, wasn't it? I was quite nervous for the end of that game in an unnecessary way because we should have been about 4 goals up, shouldn't we?
Yeah. Thought so.
It was distracted by Sam Greenwood's free kick. Bloody hell.
I've heard it was a beauty.
Look how far out he is. He's miles out.
Oh, that is
Top
nice.
corner.
And that's not ideal for the listeners or viewers, but, you know,
They'll have
it's
seen
good.
it already.
It's good, trust me.
Stop watching this. It's on the internet.
He was our hero, wasn't he, today? By clawing that gap smaller, clawing them back in. What do you think of the game today, then?
We were good for the most part. It was just a shame we kind of made it really, really horribly anxious towards the end because there were so many chances, weren't there? So many chances. I thought Pirro had a really good one for the header. Rutter had a couple. Anthony was a really good save from their keeper. It just felt like chance after chance, and I think it doesn't matter because we've won.
Yeah.
It's the short version.
I think we got a little bit sucked into Huddersfield mode where we started thinking about 4-0 first half, but instead of scoring 2 more goals, we just started flicking it around. And I don't think, going from Daniel Farke's body language, that he was the happiest bunny going into the tunnel at half-time, because I think he was also feeling that there had been a certain amount of pissing around when he would have rather have seen some scoring around.
Yes.
In and around their net.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it did have the Huddersfield shape about it, didn't it? But I think maybe there was a little bit of cruise controlling going on at some point where we thought all we need to do is just keep knocking it about, and eventually, we'll get through and turn them over.
They were a lot better than Huddersfield, I thought.
They were still bad.
Yeah. I mean, they had a bit of... It felt like they had an actual plan, though. It wasn't necessarily always working, but in terms of the structure of their team and then when they were pressing and stuff, that all felt fairly organised, even if it wasn't working brilliantly, whereas Huddersfield just seemed to turn up and just try to all do their own thing.
Well, was they had a decent plan, but they kept messing it up by doing stupid stuff. Like how many times they kept just banging the ball square across their own penalty area in the air was ridiculous, and their goalkeeper really loved
The West Stand.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Kicking it there as often as he possibly could. So there was a plan. They seemed to be determined to sabotage their own mission,
Yes.
which helped us.
But the important thing is, though, it's 3 points. It's all it counts. And sometimes you just got to grind. We grinded. Grinder.
We grinded them.
Yeah. And we got the points, so that's all that matters in the end.
I mean, it's been a really... I know, because I think I've just come out of the game and I feel a bit stressed. Probably not as happy as I should be.
Yeah.
But there's...
Well, a number of people in the comments on YouTube, we're live streaming for TSB Plus members, are saying exactly that. Like, smile, we won against another team, and
as well,
9 undefeated at home. I think it's because the finish was quite stressful unnecessarily and a bit annoying, but I think you can come out of it still pleased. And also there's the added stress of this being a new studio for us today.
So nothing quite works.
We're not quite sure if everything's going to stand up to scrutiny, like with the streaming and stuff, so forgive us if it doesn't. We'll catch up with you afterwards if it falls over at any point, but yeah, new internet connection and all that, so do forgive us if we're mildly distracted, but we are happy. I'm happy. I'm still having a nice time.
And 8 days ago we were facing potentially would we have gone 17 points behind Leicester, I think, or something daft if they'd have beaten us. Now we're reeling them right in, aren't we?
And they've lost 2 in a row.
Yep, bold fraud, useless.
Yep.
Just goes to show. Ipswich have had a lucky win. Obviously I've not seen it, but it was a very fortunate win,
Who
I'm
did
going to
they
say.
beat?
Some chumps. Swansea.
Swansea,
wasn't
right.
it?
You know you've got to have hot takes, haven't you, on the internet when it comes to internet broadcasting, so are we saying Leicester have finished?
Leicester have finished. Ipswich were lucky and will also drop out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Southampton keep winning as well, don't they?
Yeah.
That's a bit annoying.
It could get very interesting between now and May, which would be a chuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want interesting. I just want to win the league.
And the way we'll do that is by beating Plymouth 2-1. every week. So it's kind of 3 points of progress.
I don't think we'll be allowed to play them every week, though.
No, but
They'll try and mix it up and make us play everyone twice.
As long as we can find enough teams like them and just keep doing the same to them, because it was never. It did get a little bit close towards the end, but they weren't really good enough to. I mean, they again, when you talk about them sabotaging themselves, when they had the sort of the last chance to throw the ball forward, they passed it out wide to their number 10, and the ball just bounced off him and went out for a throw-in. And I was like, they're not going to be able to do anything here. The goal that they got, whatever, I need to see it back to see exactly what was going on.
It was a good ball
easy.
and a good finish, but it's just one of those things that can sometimes happen in a game. I mean, I said at half time, it got quite flat again towards the back end of the first half, didn't it? There was almost like a hush descended on us because we were so much in control of the game. I just said to my dad at half time, we need to score the next goal in order for this to go the same way as Huddersfield and to be comfortable. In the end, they did, and it made it a bit more uncomfortable than is necessary. But it was all right, wasn't it?
There were points in the first half, I was thinking, not to draw parallels with the quality, but it felt a little bit like when you watch Man City and you're like, they'll score eventually here. With us, because you're like, we've got enough good players, and as well as they appear to be holding structure and stuff, as soon as one of our players took it past someone, which we have lots of players who can do that, it fell apart from because players had to start moving out of position. There were big gaps opening up, and it was like, eventually we'll just chip away at it, and we will score 3 or 4 goals. And we got a couple in quick succession, and then
I think that's a slightly different thing with us. Is we got a couple of goals in quick succession. What time was it when we scored the second? So within half an hour,
20 and 28 minutes, wasn't it?
And you feel like the game's pretty much won at that point, and it does become a matter of how many were going to score. And the problem was that I think the players, there was that moment when I can't remember exactly the order it went in, but it was passed to Somerville and he laid it off to Rutter and he gave it to James, he gave it back to Somerville, and like one of you, like, let's just shoot. But instead of that, it got a little bit too much kind of let's try and score some pretty goals before half time. When if we had scored a third between half an hour and half time, I think the game then becomes completely relaxed and they can do all that stuff, and it turns into a bit of a, maybe the same, because Huddersfield was a bit of a flat second half because we had the 4-0 win, but maybe we would have been able to keep rocking out the flicks. I think we started enjoying it a bit too early when one more, with the pressure on, one more goal like the first two would have then let us do. There was a point we gave up a chance in the second half because Glenn Kamara was doing back heels in our own half. And at that point I was thinking we do need, like Farker has a point when he was saying a while ago, it's like bring out all the skills, do out the dancing, but don't set out to embarrass them. I think that also meant and there's no other way of getting around it, because Neil Warnock absolutely nailed the sentiment where it's enjoy yourself, but enjoy it by being fucking disciplined. And there was just a little bit of that not happening, and you could see Farker on the touchline when we were, I think there was one where Rutter backheeled it on the edge of the box and Plymouth broke, and he's just like, just stop doing skills.
There were a couple of moments when the decision making wasn't quite right. Yeah. But it was because we were having too much fun.
But that's the other thing, is it's loads of fun, and I love seeing them all do that, and it's really fun. And if Glenn Kamara wants to do back heels in our half, great. We just needed that one more goal because it just felt like what would happen. But there is the difference that perhaps in previous years, even without that stuff, we could lose to Plymouth quite easily. Yeah. And Farker's talked about it now. Farker's saying that he didn't say this before the game, that he was worried about us after a Spotlights performance against Leicester. He went on about it for about half an hour, that we had to concentrate and not allow Plymouth to kind of trip us up after such a big win. But that was an element as well. So I'm kind of extrapolating what I think Farker will feel with some of this. I guess.
Did you have a little telly today?
I did not. I was up on the gantry today. I went for a big view. Are you thinking about penalties?
Yes. It looked like there was a definite one in the first half, admittedly the far end. Yeah.
Well, would you like me to address this?
It looked like he was through and someone just barged through the back of him.
Well, I was going to say the opinion that's coming through on YouTube comments is that we got away with one each. And VAR probably would have given each side a penalty.
The one Ampadu did, second half.
Yeah, but that's what people are saying. Like I said, I
thought he went over like really looking for it. I thought it looked like he ran and stopped and then just chucked himself over. I'd have bugged him for that. But then again,
I think
I'm thoroughly biased.
That's what should have happened, Michael, isn't it? But yeah, it was a very familiar start to the game, wasn't it? Like, so that first 20 minutes, half an hour, you thought, this is how it's going to be. You know, Phil and his non-20-minute text that I never get.
I don't know why. Stop hoping for
I
it.
just want him to one day.
He's never gonna send it.
I just want him to one day recognise me, remember
Looking, it's probably the signal in Elland Road. He probably has messaged. It's probably just not come through.
He's got the Wi-Fi password. So I forgot the bell, didn't I, for when you mentioned the gantry? Sorry.
Oh, that's made it down.
It's because we've tidied the studio up and I can actually find stuff now. It's not in its usual place. Yes, first half an hour, looked recognisable, passing it around in total control, 2 goals in front. I was having a very nice time up to that point. And I didn't really get excessively stressed in the second half. I just thought, don't do this, Leeds. It's not fair.
I think I made a note of stress about 69 minutes, bit of nervousness. They were just having possession, but without doing anything with it. And it's like, this is probably fine, but if they do score now, there's enough time for them to score another, and it's just a bit unnecessary. I mean, I will say about the stress at the end in the defence, we did only have 1 out of 4 first-choice defenders on the pitch at the end, didn't we, essentially? Because that is not what our back four is meant to look like. And the goal did come down our left, didn't it? Which I didn't sort of notice Firpo doing anything wrong, but I also can't remember.
You're itching to find something.
Well, I just can't remember where he was when they crossed it in for that goal, because it definitely came from his side.
Had he scampered upfield, maybe?
I don't know.
And it was in the channel down alongside Cooper, who obviously also has got the pressure on him today because he's the old lag coming in to replace the young pirate. So, but
the big sexy patient now he is.
Cooper was good today, and I would have to watch that goal a few more times to see if anybody really had any.
Did you think Cooper was good?
I thought it was fine insofar as Cooper is. There were a couple of moments when he did things that I recognised that are Cooperisms. Like, do you remember there was that one? I think it would be the first half when they broke down our right hand side, and Cooper I think had 2 men to pick from, and he kind of did neither. He sort of went towards the ball momentarily, and then he realised the bloke was running past him, so went back after the man, but got caught the wrong side. And I thought, your decision making is just not quite 100% there, is it? It's not of that same level that we've seen in other players, but.
It's maybe confirmation bias from me.
There were several bits where I was like, but did he make any mistakes that cost us? I don't think he did.
He seemed to give the ball away a fair number of times as well, where there were.
Is it because you hate Liam Cooper?
That's exactly why.
He was in hoof mode rather than Pascal Strauch, who's been in
I think that
bring
was
it
it
down and pass it mode. But I think that's good. Like, don't try to play like the player you're replacing. Play like the player that you are.
Yeah.
And if you're 32-year-old Liam Cooper, and the best idea is to get it down their end, and the best place for it was, well, no, not the best place for it. What I'm trying to say, down their end, because we just pressed Plymouth and they give us the ball there. So it's a little bit of Jesse Marshism of like, give them the ball and then go and get it back off them. But I didn't think any of that stuff was particularly a problem. It's hard to judge because only Plymouth, and we were attacking them so relentlessly. And I think for the first, apart from Ethan Ampadu, who got tackled on 80 seconds, that was the first interruption to our 100% possession at the start of the game.
I counted that as well. I was watching the clock.
And then we kept it for just about another 90 seconds after that and ended up with a chance. So that level of dominance, I don't think you can really say anything either way about what Liam Cooper was doing. He did most things fine. Yeah. If it's his fault for the goal, then we'll go round to his house in Hull and we'll start throwing fireworks at his shed or something. I don't know. Whatever it does to get it out of the system.
Yeah. There were some lovely moments that I think, like you were saying about like recency bias, we've forgotten all the good stuff to a certain extent because the end got a little bit hairier than it needed to. But there were some awesome moments, and as Tom's mentioned as well, like for example when Ruta went through some lovely build up some lovely build up play in the build up to that, and he just didn't quite have it today, did he? That final ball that we've complimented so much with Ruta, it kind of wasn't there today quite so much. I think he just didn't have those it wasn't quite fizzing in the same way, but he was still brilliant all the same. Yeah,
some of there was a turnage on the edge of the box, and it's into the realms of being sort of worth the admission money to watch him do certain things. And you see him in tight spaces, and all of a sudden he's in loads of space, and you're like, oh, so good. But yeah, he had a few chances that he missed today. There's one where the keeper was off his line, and he tried to knock it over him, and it was that he should have done better with that. And there was another one where it was pulled back to him in the box, and he put it over, didn't he? So there were chances he should probably have taken. But.
You know who did finish really well today?
Little
Dan James. Picked his spot, top corner, absolute beauty. And there was also, bearing in mind, if you're talking about reputations and how we feel about certain players, when that ball came to him, I had absolutely no doubt that was going in the top corner. Dan James is going to score.
I was going to say that. It fell to him and I thought, yes, because it'll be like the chance he had the other week. Because he's scoring so many these days. And previously, when I looked at Dan James picking up the ball like that, I'd always think, well, this is going in the stand.
It was a good chance, though. Because, in the Kop, so I was behind it, and you could just see there was just a huge space. It's like, just put it in there. He did.
Pretty
it was
easy.
great.
Pretty easy not to.
Well, true enough.
So he
true
did very
enough.
well, and it was good off of Glenn Kamara.
Just say that's our
chasing down their defender to make the
6,000th
mistake.
goal. 6,000th goal
By Dan James.
by Dan James. Yes. So that was nice. And Peru got the goal that I predicted he would get in this game as
Was it
well.
that run again, wasn't it? That one where he comes,
Off the shoulder, kind of
he
thing.
comes in down the left. Is that a ghost? We were talking about ghosting the other day. Is that a ghosting in? Is he ghosted into the box at that point?
I mean, he was pretty visible.
No one went with him anyway.
No.
He was just in some space.
Well, there's not a lot of room because he sort of runs that close to Somerville that if you were trying to mark him, you would run into the back of Somerville and knock him over and give away a penalty, and then little through ball. And I've yet to see. It felt like it was a really, really, really good finish. I'm not sure if there was like maybe the ball bounced off the keeper or something, so it's still just a really, really good finish. But good finish,
Yes.
undoubted.
As is Glenn Kamara.
Yes,
A good finish.
Yes.
Did you like that?
So that's too good. So it didn't really matter if Rutter was. He likes to put the ball over the bar, doesn't he?
I'll tell you what took my breath away momentarily, which was the one where was it Root actually supplied this, and I think we were harrying them and maybe chasing them down, won the ball back in their area, and someone stuck it over. I might be getting the build up wrong. I can't quite remember, but it's the one where Somerville just had to tap it in at the far post. And then that guy just came flying in and blocked it. I was like, oh, how's he got that?
That was quite early on, wasn't it? Reuter also put one, saying his passing was out. He did absolutely put one on a plate for Pirro, that header. I think Pirro rushed it. I think he imagined there was someone near him.
Well, the keeper was about to take him out.
But he
Schumacher style.
could have actually brought it down probably. He had that much space.
Yeah.
But that was a nice bit of play and a lovely pass.
What do we think about their number 8?
Can't remember him.
Edwards came on as a sub, got booked for rugby tackling Dan James.
Oh, that guy,
Moments after he had gone in late on Dan James. And a couple of minutes after he had got into like a kicking fight on the floor with Joe Roden over a throw-in and then tried to punch Ampadu. He's quite a wild guy.
It felt like the ref let an awful lot of stuff go and then gave some free kicks for some really, really mild stuff.
Yeah.
Like anything on the halfway line, a slight bit of a shirt pull or something that he judged. Absolutely giving those all day, but to them. And then, a few quite aggravated assaults. It was more or less like, it's fine.
A few aggravated assaults.
Just let those ones go.
He was really funny. He was just, I was looking up to see who he was. He's some 33-year-old clogger who's just been around and he absolutely fulfilled
The ref?
the role. No, this Joe Edwards fella. You know, when you come away from a game.
That's your generic Bournemouth player's name, isn't it?
Yeah, so
Joe Edward, it should be really.
Right.
It's the right sort of coast. So yeah, sometimes you come away for a game, you go, oh, like their striker was really good or something. But he made an impression on me.
I didn't actually notice it was all the same guy because they were just some Plymouth players.
Yeah, I think he.
You arrogant bastard.
I think he acquired the captain's armband when he came on as well.
Oh, okay. Just in a
Proper leader.
fuck shit up.
Yeah.
As has
Captain's
been,
armband.
we touched on this yet. I don't know if we have about the clip that we played from the Leicester people the other day about being. We're still 11 points clear. Not anymore.
Nope.
It's 8. I've looked at the table. They've got 39 points. We've got 31. That's 8.
Should we get extra points because Sam Greenwood scored the goal?
Yeah.
Like a bonus point. Like
And also it's another Yorkshire team if we're pre-1974.
The other Yorkshire
What,
teams.
Middlesbrough?
Yeah, or is it post-1974? They're sort of York. They can be Yorkshire today, can't they?
Whatever they think they are, they're not.
I see Sheffield Wednesday lost 4-0 at home.
They're not having a nice time.
Darren Mower's shite army didn't do well
What
either.
was the
They-
attendance?
At Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it tells you on here.
It does. If you
People-
scroll up on FOTMob, it will be there somewhere.
25,500.
God,
It's not bad,
people
actually.
are still going to watch that.
Darren
Jeez.
Mower's shite army lost in the 92nd minute, having had 2 shots in the whole game.
And Rotherham got pumped, our next opponents, which is going to fill them with confidence, obviously.
Plymouth fans raised the fact that we're in the same league as Rotherham because there was quite a lot of singing about Old Trafford falling down.
Yes.
Coming from the South Stand, and that was their retort, which I felt was kind of like fair point. Yeah.
It is, but
It's kind of a,
but this-
and they brought a balloon. I was quite
A hot air one?
No, just like, like a birthday party balloon.
Yes.
They had one of those and it was green and they were bouncing that around. And I also learned that the Plymouth fans have a song where they go, clap, 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 green.
That's a good song.
That then.
That was really good.
Don't spit in the new studio.
Just green.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like, unless I've completely missed something. I was looking down. I don't think it's any of the
You
players'
need
names.
2 syllables for that song.
Yeah.
No, not anymore.
They're greens.
You can just do whatever.
Green.
You can do whatever
Like
you want.
Moore. Oh, I suppose Darren Moore. We said that they managed to turn that into 2 syllables, didn't they?
So, and that's when I noticed that they had this one balloon with them. So I don't know if that's what they were singing it at.
I was walking by some Plymouth fans walking back from the ground, could hear them talking in their Plymouth accents.
What were they saying?
I quite like it. One of them was complaining.
Did you get open? Because Google Translate can do it on the fly now, can't it?
I don't mind it as an accent.
I like it, yeah.
But there was...
What is a Plymouth accent? Can you do what they were
It's a
saying?
bit like that.
It's a little bit
sounds
country
like.
bumpkin, yeah.
It's the same as my Bristol accent, I think, or my Dorset accent, or Cornwall. It's all the bloody same down there. But yeah, one of them was just complaining because they weren't talking about the game at all. One of them was too slow and couldn't keep up with the rest of them.
Oh, okay.
That's all he was moaning about.
Yeah, I had a chat with a couple of them on the walk up from here beforehand as well. I had to set off at 6:30 in the morning. Their buses left this morning at 5:15 to get up here.
It's a hell of a way down there.
It is a hell of a long way. My
But
overall...
it's actually fair play to them. They did actually sell their allocation as well.
Yeah, and they
There's a lot
sang
of
as
teams
well
on.
for the most part, which
Yeah,
is
it's quite a
good.
noisy bunch.
It's a strange atmosphere at Elland Road this year, isn't it?
Yeah,
It has little moments of being really good, but then there's a lot of second half in the lead vibes about it at
I
times.
agree. It's what I said it the other week, didn't I? I agree with what you said about you wonder if it's a bit like what being Man City is like being so dominant over a team. It's almost like you're waiting for something to happen. It's like because we control possession so much, just knock it around the back in non-threatening areas, and they'll dip it into midfield, it'll go back, and you're just trying to pull them out of shape. And maybe it's sort of a reflection of the dominance in the tactics. I don't know. But I noticed that today that like a lot of the
Are you saying it'd be better atmosphere if we were worse?
well, no, I'll give you an example. There was a moment in the first half where I think they sort of broke on us, and Glenn Kamara was the player closest to the action, but there's sort of 2 men there. And rather than going for there was a possible chance maybe at getting a foot in and getting a tackle in, but he didn't. He just dropped back in between the two, retreated a little bit, conceded some territory. And it's just about maintaining shape, isn't it? And then forcing them to play in areas where they can't hurt you, maybe force the ball back towards the keeper and get him to punt it into the West Stand, as was touched on. So there's a lot of keeping shape, I think, that's going on with Farke's system. And I'm not saying it's risk averse. It's just that it's not blood and thunder, and football is not blood and thunder anymore, is it? It's just not allowed to be that. It's about controlling space, controlling possession, and maybe it's not that exciting for the most part, but it does result in total dominance.
I think
And teams come and sit back off us as well.
I think we play some really nice stuff. That makes it almost sound like we're being boring.
No, I think
which
at
I don't think it's a
I'm
fair
not saying
reflection.
that. I'm saying at the moments when it's flat, it's because we're so dominant that there's almost nothing to get excited about. If that makes sense.
It's the perfect time for a sing-song.
Yeah. But I think there were moments today when people realised that, and kind of there was like an East Stand give us a song that came from the south, and just that attempt to lift it a little bit. And Farke touched that actually on it, didn't he, as well in his pre-match?
He wanted the burger sellers to be getting right in the faces of the Plymouth fans, didn't he? There was a little bit of Leeds going up towards the end of the game as well, which I hope you appreciated.
It was just as they scored, wasn't it?
Yes, it was shortly before they scored. So that's what we get for that. So let's. I mean, I don't know. I think it's quite fun. I mean, yes, we can't on the one hand be like, there's not enough singing, and then but fucking hell, don't sing that. But yeah, it was almost inevitable. Script was written. There's a little. Should we be singing this? No. Plymouth say no.
But my overall takeaway feeling from it is like, sometimes, as I said, you just got to grind them out, and we did that, and I'm happy coming away from that. I've had another nice time for the most part at Elland Road. I'm enjoying the jeopardy-free feeling for the most part after the last few years, but maybe it does need a bit of jeopardy to get the atmosphere going.
Yeah, there's a bit of a change from last time we were down here. The jeopardy was that we could have like 25 shots on goal or something stupid and lose, which would be annoying. Whereas this time, if we're playing like we play today, where we're having 25 shots, we probably did, we win. But the problem we have, which we didn't necessarily have last time we were getting promoted, was we'll play really badly at Stoke or something. When we we changed wingers and put Gruev in, and none of it really worked, and it was kind of like a bad performance and everything went wrong. When we were 2019 sort of era, we were generally playing really well in every game. So, but now we would still risk losing. Now, if we start playing well, as we did in the first half, whatever Plymouth did in the second half kind of took the edge off the fun, but never put me into a place of thinking like we might lose this because we were playing well.
Because and they just lacked that bit of quality to cause proper jeopardy, didn't they?
It'll be interesting.
It was a good goal, but then you never felt like they were going to repeat it again.
No.
You didn't really see that.
That's a good point. And then, it felt like they'd done their one good thing. And then, but the risk will be, or the worry will be if we turn up to a game and the first half hour is not happening, things aren't firing, players aren't finding each other. And you could sort of tell that about the Stoke game, that from the first 20 minutes, like, just wasn't right.
All right, Phil.
We still nearly won that game. But
we did.
That's the thing, we didn't play well that day, and everyone acknowledges we didn't play well. But if Bamford scores the penalty, we'd probably win anyway.
Yeah.
Byram hamstring strain.
Only a little one.
He seemed to walk off all right, didn't he?
He wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
At least we've got the international break where they can just sort of nurse him through that.
Didn't he do this just before the last international break? It was Ipswich, wasn't it? Did he miss? There was a game.
Is he trying to get out of his England call-up, do you think?
He should be having an England call-up because he is fucking class.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looked like he was saying, I think I'm okay to keep playing. But what's his face? Rob Price, I think he's got some takers for a few people.
Just some of Farke's comments in the post-match press conference. He is bemoaning the lack of clinical finishing. It's an ongoing issue, he says. And if you'd given me a 2-1 win like this before kick-off, I'd have taken it. I was concerned because everything was too easy and going well in training this week. I'm a happy man with the 3 points.
Any cake talk?
No cake talk that's been documented just yet, I don't think. But we will check.
It's the international break. He's got to find some time for some cake on the sofa.
Maybe go at Harrogate. Go to Betty's.
Do they have sofas in Betty's? It's quite a hard seat place, isn't
That's
it?
true, yeah.
Maybe that'd be interesting for variety. Get him out of the house. You can have cake in other places apart from your own home.
Yeah, he's having a word about the Rotherham fixture as well, which is correct, that we're back playing on the Friday night ahead of everybody else, and far more of our players will be away than Rotherham's, he's saying. But hopefully we'll be all right. We'll be all right. But we can worry about that another day, can't we?
Ruter's in the under-21s, isn't he?
So is Willie Nonto.
Now
They'll
Leicester...
smirk at our player getting... It's good that he's got an international call-up. It's a shame that he's not quite...
I will say about Willie Nonto, it was nice to see that he didn't just disappear off down the tunnel at the final whistle, and he stayed out on the pitch to applaud the fans with the other players.
And he did two really good, intelligent bits of defending. One where he tracked back to help out Archie Gray, and he won a tackle and a throw-in.
I celebrated that throw-in.
That was really good. Yeah, Archie Gray gave him a high five, and then up your end, the ball was bouncing into the corner, and he could have kept it in. Instead, he shepherded it out to win a corner.
And then he nearly set up Pat Bamford.
He did, but the ball he passed it behind him. Pat had made a run in front, and then Plymouth nearly scored, which was
I think that really,
a little bit of a demerit. But he was sometimes. There's been a problem at points this season where we change the wingers and we look weaker defensively. I think there was a little bit of that against Leicester, because that chance that when Meslier made the brilliant save, Wilf really wasn't on it to stop that cross from coming across. Today he was absolutely
it looked like he looked improved, didn't he, compared to that?
That was very good.
I agree. And just another comment actually of Farke's: when you're so dominant, you would like to win by 6 or 7 goals, but there is also a brave and a good opponent. Our defending was in many ways excellent. You have to bring a tight lead over the line.
I don't know if Joe Edwards rugby tackling Dan James is necessarily brave. Picked on the littlest player. Did it in front of the bench though. That was quite brave.
I want to mention as well, Pirro got us the winning goal in the end, didn't he? So he stepped up to the plate at the point where it mattered. And it was a nice finish, just like rolling it under the keeper. He took it really well. He's very composed and very cool. And I think FOTMob have given him man of the match today, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 8 point something, which I know it works out via algorithm based on sort of touches, and obviously it weights goals quite heavily. But I think that's an interesting...
I don't know if I would have given it to them, actually. I thought Somerville's really good. Like the amount of times...
In fact, Somerville's been given 8.2 out of 10, but Pirro's been given 8.2 and shaded it.
That people find it so incredibly difficult to get the ball off Somerville. In fact, there was one bit when he was running through, and he was fouled about 3 times and then lost the ball, and the ref just didn't give him it. And I was thinking, fucking hell, ref. If any one of these you can give, if you fancy. But anyway.
Yeah, there's an element of gift horse, and I can feel myself doing it when these players are running around doing incredible skills and being really dead good at football. And you're like, we only scored 2. But that's kind of the nature of needing a result at the end of it. The first half, watching them just running around and doing that, it was almost like inbuilt guilt, because they were doing so much cool stuff, and that's when I started looking at Farke in the dugout, going like, should we be having this much fun? Is this okay? Maybe we've got to go and say some Hail Marys and
I was going to say
flagellate later.
The football gods always pop up, and that just remind you, don't they? To
the football god in this case being Daniel Farker doing his nut about a back heel.
Yes.
I mean, we're complaining far too much, though, aren't we?
No, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. No, I think
like, I should have scored that. That should have gone.
No, but you have to reflect what happened in the game. Which, and as you said, we should be putting games like that, putting teams to the sword. 6 or 7 goals. He's even touched on it in his comments, and the fact that we didn't and we allowed it to become closer has, it felt a bit stressful towards the end then inside the stadium. But when you come away from it and you analyse it, it was like, it was a nice, well controlled win, all things considered.
It makes the 4-1s against Huddersfield even sweeter. And we've kind of in the last 2 weeks since then proven that we can do the different things. So we can absolutely romp through dog shit, prove that against Huddersfield, and then we can take on the best team in the division and beat them.
Former best team.
Yeah, as they were at the time.
But they are finished, are they now?
Now, anybody can beat them, as Middlesbrough are proving. Like, any old chumps can just whack a free kick past them and it's easy. And then we can take on a promoted team who are supposed to be good and aren't particularly. They do score a lot. So the fact that we've kept them down to 1, maybe, but whatever. But there are, so we've hit that kind of middle range and won. So 3 different ways of winning against 3 different kinds of opponent is pretty much a good sign of things to come after the international break, because we are a day short of fitness. Rotherham are gonna. What did Rotherham do today?
Lost 5-0.
5-0.
Yeah, so we've got to worry. We've really got to worry.
But they drew with Ipswich.
Just be careful now. Don't start saying silly things like that.
I have no influence here. They'll do what they're going to do.
I know we kind of remember Bielsa's promotion as well as being this glorious romp where we played teams off the park and were brilliant. We won a lot of home games by a single goal.
Yeah, we lost loads as well, didn't we? I mean, we almost reduced. Luke Ayling was a broken man at the end of January, wasn't he? Standing in Nottingham, just trying to explain just how bloody awful he'd actually become, and not being able to find the words. So we've still got that part of the season to look forward to as well.
I think that's already happened for Luke Ayling this season. He already looks a bit of a broken man.
Can I just say,
seen him.
I really like winning.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's really, really nice, and it makes me so happy. And I could be happy now for the whole international break, because that's I think that's 6 wins out of 8. We've done now 7 out of 9.
It's annoying, really, when you look at the annoying thing looking at the table is the points we've lost, like not beating Sheffield Wednesday at home, and not beating Cardiff at home, not beating West Brom when we should have beaten them.
Yeah.
The away, it feels like we've actually taken Southampton away as the exception, really, but we've generally done pretty well in the tougher games.
Yeah, so draw against Cardiff, should have won that. Birmingham away, players ruined that, should have won that.
Yeah.
West Brom at home, should have won that. We dropped points against Wednesday, clearly should have won that.
Their goal was offside and I'm bowling.
Hull away, cheated by the referee, sending Rodon off, would have won that.
Yep.
Southampton, let's forget that. Stoke, nearly won it. So actually, we would have won all but one of our games. So
we should have about 50 points.
So that's what we're saying is the correct moral outcome.
But we're nearly now at 2 points per game, aren't we? 31,
just shy of
31 from 16. So given the summer, given the players' strikes going on, all that sort of stuff, we're still going on at the end of August. This is fine, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
Fine, this is lovely. I'm having a really nice time.
This is good. So I think Farker would have accepted this. And it will definitely help across the season that he's done this before. It surely must help, because none of the other managers at the top of the league have got experience of this. And he knows it. He knows what he's doing.
Maresca, done nothing.
Bald fraud, useless.
Child at Ipswich.
Scum child, pathetic. He'll probably be sacked soon.
Oh, that's the other thing, that number 8, Joe Edwards. So when I was looking at him, he's a Scum fan.
Disgusting.
Yeah, that's probably why he's having a go at Dan James in particular.
I actually know he's a Scum fan, because there's from the WhatsApp group that came from the walk. There's a Joe Edwards in that who was looking up himself on Wikipedia, and we discovered he was a Scum fan.
There you go.
From that. So disgusting.
3 points. 3 points on the board. Happy going into the international break. Job's a good one, yeah?
Yeah. Let's just beat Rotherham. Yep. Keep it going. Easy.
Yeah, we'll have another moment like this that's on the front cover of the new Square Ball magazine. Look at that. As done by, I always forget how to, it's Maria Markovic, who is Football Maria on Instagram, and who's absolutely, it was also featured in L'Equipe this weekend.
Well, la-di-da.
Yeah, and that artwork is...
Must be nice.
That artwork's out of the charity calendar. Is absolutely a top-notch artist, as are all the people who've contributed to the magazine, and you can see all the...
There's a nice picture of me in that. Nice picture of me in that magazine.
Yeah, we're deliberately not, we're not putting that on.
How photoshopped was that image?
On this stream? So
heavily.
Not at all.
I would just want to say,
read that.
final thing is, if you've enjoyed our moaning today, despite a win, please do vote for us in the Club Podcast of the Year. We've been shortlisted for in the FSA Awards. What we're basically happy to do is just go to London and get a bit drunk and have a nice posh dinner and try our best to not be obnoxious, and hopefully we can come back with a trophy. So thesquareball.net/vote. Question 8 is the one that we're in. If you
can try
mind.
your best not to be obnoxious. I should be doing nothing in the sort.
Yeah, question 8 is the one. You can, if you only want to do question 8, that's fine. If you want to fill out more, you can. That's it. Question 8. Vote for us.
Question 8.
Please,
Click,
please.
click. Done.
In the meantime, happy days. We'll see you soon.
The Match Ball.